with youth athletes, there's a lot of things involved, but lifestyle is definitely a huge one, okay? Not specifically 11 hours, but probably 7 to 9 hours of sleep is really going to help. There's very clear research which shows that having less sleep causes more injuries. And depending on what research you look at, it might be less than 7 hours or less than 6 hours. And there's also research to show that less sleep leads to more incidence of illness, okay? So essentially, the less you sleep, the less time you're going to have to spend on the pitch to perform and improve. So definitely sleep will help. Good nutrition is very important, okay? Sean can tell you more about this, but in one of his lives the other day, he did mention that it was either a live or a message. Sorry if I'm wrong, Sean, but he did mention that it's unlikely that a youth footballer should ever be in a calorie deficit. They should be in a calorie surplus most of the time, as that's what's going to support their performance and growth. Okay, so unless there's a specific incident or a specific case where someone's extremely overweight, it's unlikely they're going to need to reduce their calories. So you really need to make sure you're eating enough and you're sleeping enough. So in terms of the details of the nutrition, I'll leave that to Sean, but definitely those two things are going to have a huge difference. In terms of training, really simple body weight strength work to start is going to help. A lot of injuries can just be seen as a capacity problem. So say if we break it down to a specific muscle, let's say calves, okay? We don't always think in such an isolated way, but for this example, we will. So let's just say that your calves have the capacity to do this much running, okay? So a small amount. And let's say in a training week, we do this much running. Then if we don't have the capacity in our calf muscle to support that, then there might be an injury and that might show up in something like a muscle strain. So the more strength we have, the higher the capacity to do work should be. Okay, I won't break it down to be quite as simple as that, but for this example, it's great. So body weight strength work is going to be really important, and also good movement quality. So I mentioned the overhead squat assessment. It's a really simple one you can do for yourself. If you can do a perfect overhead squat with your feet shoulder width apart, with your arms at the side of your head in line with your ears, if you can nail that and sit really deep, you're probably not going to have a huge amount of compensations. So there's very simple mobility work, and there's the yoga program out there, which will help a lot in terms of mobility. So eating a lot, sleeping a lot, and low-level strength training, followed by mobility training, if you've got any serious restrictions, are probably going to cover most of your big issues there, okay? So there are only 4 things. They're simple, but before you think about higher level stuff, nail those 4 things, and then you can look for the next training method that's going to help you.